So remember yesterday that really long word we talked about during our grammar or our phonics time? Do you remember? Shout out to me if you remember. If you said prepositions, you are correct. If not, it's okay. We're going to say it here together right now. Prepositions. You say it again. Good. Prepositions. So we talked yesterday about how prepositions are words that tell us where something is. So we said words like inside, under, over, beside, near, above, below, in. So we talked about all those types of words that tell us where something is. Prepositions are really good for our writing and our reading because they give us a better idea of where things are. If you're reading a story, as you get older and become better readers, you'll start reading chapter books. And you'll notice in chapter books, there's not very many pictures, if any at all. So prepositions give us an idea of where things are, and that way we can have a better visual in our mind. So authors use prepositions all the time. Something else that prepositions can do is they can tell us when something happens, like words like before, after, until, or during. Those are all prepositions as well. So prepositions can do that. They can either tell us where something is, like under, below, above, or they can tell us when something's happening. So we're going to focus, yesterday we focused on the where types of prepositions. Today we're going to focus on the when type of prepositions. So get your paper ready and we are going to do our worksheet on prepositions talking about when things happen today. Okay, so like I said, prepositions I talked about yesterday how they can tell us where something is. Today we're focusing on prepositions that tell us when something is happening. So the directions want us to look at our picture and use the preposition in each sentence. So these can be anything you want. You just have to use the word before, after, until, and during. Okay? So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start at the bottom and you're going to work your way up to the top by yourself. I'm going to do 2 with you, so you can do 4 and 3 with me, and then you're going to do 2 and 1. So we're kind of working a little bit backwards today. So you can either use the examples that I write down or you can come up with your own for all 4. I know some of you like to do all of them by yourself when it comes to like having a creative mind, and I'm all for that encouraging of you using your imagination and your own ideas. So you can either do this with me or you can go ahead and pause the video and do all 4 by yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and keep going and do 4 and 3 with the video, and then I'm going to pause it or stop the video, and then you'll do 2 and 1 by yourself if you chose to stay going. Alright, so number 4 has the preposition during. So we need to use during, and it needs to have to do with this picture. Looking at this picture, looks like my friend is camping outside in a tent. So I think I'm going to write something that has to do with him camping during or laying in a tent during the night or something like that. So my idea will be this. I'm going to start my sentence with a capital letter. I'm going to start the very first line. Alright, so my sentence I'm going to say is this. The boy slept in the tent during the night. So that's kind of a long one. So capital T, the. Now I want to have a good space, not too much of a space, so that way if I'm over here writing boy, that's too far. I want to make sure we have good spaces. The boy slept in the tent. And during's already right there for me, so I don't need to worry about spelling during correct. The boy slept in the tent during the night. And I'm going to end it with a period. So I made sure I used the word during, and I'm going to give it a circle. During tells us when this actually happened. And it helps because I did it correctly because I see that the boy is sleeping in the tent. So my sentence has something to do with what's going on in this picture. And that's what they want us to do. They want us to make sure that our sentence matches the picture. So if I wrote, the boy eats cookies during the day, that's not a good sentence because he doesn't have any cookies, and that's just not a good idea. So you make sure whatever your sentence is, it goes with the picture, and you use the preposition. This preposition is telling us when something happens. So let's do one more together, and then you can pause the video and come up with the other two on your own. Alright, so it looks like in my picture, my friend here is fishing. So I'm going to say something about fishing, and I need to use the word until. It can be a little tricky. So I think I'm going to say something like this. The boy will fish until he catches something. So capital T for the boy. I know there's two L's in will because it's one syllable short vowel word and it ends in L, so I have to make sure there's a double consonant there. The boy will until. See how I don't have enough room to write until, so I'm going to the next line. Until he catch is Notice something's a compound word. So like I said, when we know our compound words now, we're able to use them in our writing. So I said the boy will fish until he catches something. Some of you might have noticed that, if you remember back to our plural nouns song, our plural nouns, you need to have an ES. I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. So even though we don't hear the E, when you have a word that ends in CH, we have to make sure it's ES. So the boy will fish until, there's my preposition, it's telling me when this is happening. The boy will fish until he catches something. So I did a good job because I know that I wrote a sentence that matches my picture. He's fishing. I used the word until. So I did both. So go ahead and pause the video and do the other two on your own.